Good morning. Glad to be with you again this morning. I was reading some information about a study that was done on millionaires. And the study did a survey asking them what they thought was the secret to their success. And it was interesting to see what they thought contributed or was um, the main element to their success. Um, the vast majority, 99% of them, said they believed hard work was the secret to their success. Intelligence and good sense, 97% of them said. 83% of them said they believed it had something to do with a with a higher than average IQ, something that Kiwi doesn't have, uh, but she's lovable. Um, 62% said they thought it was because they were the best in the situation, and 32% said luck. Not one person in the bunch, not one out of the whole bunch, said that they believed the reason for their success was that God had blessed them. God was completely left out of the picture. And it made me think about how often we in our regular day-to-day lives kind of leave God out of the picture and say, well, he really, we don't acknowledge what he's done in our lives. We don't acknowledge how much he plays a part in what we go through and what we do and the blessings we enjoy and so on and so forth. There was another man in the Bible that did something similar to that. His name was Nebuchadnezzar. And he also struggled at giving God credit. Um, in Daniel chapter 4, verse 30, I couldn't find the right verse that I was looking for, but anyhow, in Daniel chapter 4, verse 30, here's what Nebuchadnezzar said. He said, "The king spoke, saying, Is this not great Babylon that I have built for a royal dwelling by my mighty power and for the honor of my majesty?" That was his sentiment. He was saying, I did this. I built all this. I'm the one that is deserving of praise for all the accomplishments. It's all me, is what he was saying. Verse 31. While the word was still in the king's mouth, a voice fell from heaven. King Nebuchadnezzar, to you it is spoken. The kingdom has departed from you, and they shall drive you from men, and your dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and you shall eat grass like an oxen, and 7 times shall pass over you, until you know the Most High rules the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomever he chooses. Um, that very hour, the word was fulfilled concerning Nebuchadnezzar. He was driven from men, and ate grass like oxen. His body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hair had grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like bird's claws. And then finally, in verse 34, it says, At the end of time, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up my eyes to heaven, and my understanding returned to me, and I blessed the Most High, and praised and honored him who lives forever. Now, you have to understand, this was the king of the most mighty empire, the most mighty kingdom of its time. Babylon was an incredible kingdom. It was an incredible empire. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were considered one of the wonders of the world. So this was no little thing, and this was no undocumented thing, by the way. But Nebuchadnezzar learned that what he had, God had granted him the ability to have and the opportunity to have. And that it wasn't just that he was such a great king, and it wasn't just that he had done all this himself, but that God had blessed him with the opportunity to have what he had. I want you to look around today. I want you to look around at the things that you have. Look at the car that you have before you get in it. Look at the home that you're walking into or out of. Look at the computer that you might have. You know, I have a tablet in my hand. Look at the things that you have, the blessings that you have in your life. And take a minute and say, God, I owe you thanks for this. This is not just achieved by the work of my hand. It's not just achieved because I'm smarter than somebody else. You know, one of the things that comes to me that hits me like a ton of bricks whenever I go to other countries, especially when I go to very poor countries like Africa, I meet people that are just as smart as me. They don't have as much education maybe as I have, but they're just as smart as me. Their brain works as well as mine or better. And I think to myself, why did I get to be born where I was born and know all of the pleasures that I have known and all of the things that I have? I'm no better than they are. Um, they always want to see pictures of my home, of where I live and my family and, you know, all that. And I have some pictures and they look at, you know, the cars that we have. We have three. Why we have, I've given one of them now to my son to use. But we have two trucks and a car. And there for a while, when the kids were home, we had a bunch of cars sitting here. We had, you know, and they would look at those pictures and they would say, "You have so many cars. You have such," and we don't have a big house, but to them it was a mansion, you know, and they say, "Oh, you're very rich." And I don't think of myself as being very rich. But in their eyes, I'm very blessed. I'm very rich in their eyes. And it's not because I'm smarter than them. It's not because I work harder than they work. It's because I happen to be born where I was born and God has blessed me. Why He's blessed me, only God knows. Why He didn't bless, why they haven't received the same blessings, God only knows. But I need to give credit where credit's due and stop thinking this is an achievement that I've achieved. Think about that today. Well, I've already got long-winded. I'm going to shut up. You have a great day today. I hope your day is filled with wonderful blessings. And Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.